Welcome to the Beasts of the NFC East. I am your host, Sean Gnitzcavich, with my co-host, Jeremy Goode. Jameis Winston finally gets his start. Mike Kafka gets his first start as a head coach, and ultimately we lose. That's the Giants. The NFL had its first game in Spain, and the Commanders lost that one in overtime. But hey, overtime game overseas, so that's kind of cool. The Philadelphia Eagles have another stinker of a game, but pull it out in prime time. And the Cowboys pull off a win in honor of the late Marshawn Kneeland and destroy the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Jeremy Goode, what is good?
Want to know. That's all that matters. Eagles they just keep winning. What a sight. Rest of the division, yikes. But interesting. I mean, we talked about off there. It's interesting week of football. And I think we have two elite teams like the Lions and Eagles matching up on Sunday Night Football, regardless of how the game went. Two good teams going at it. And interesting how the division is unfolding in mid-November and there's such a divide between the teams. But good week of football.
Yeah, this is probably like, when we started this, like the Beasts of the NFC East, it was coming off a year where we had three playoff teams, and the Commanders were pretty decent too. Actually, no, they were okay. They weren't the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
And now we are like the least of the NFC East, aside from the Eagles, because the Eagles, I believe, now are top of the NFC, still remaining top of the NFC.
Yep.
Yeah. So we just have one beast and a bunch of like chihuahuas and lap dogs.
Barkers.
For the rest of them. Yeah, no. Like Giants is like the name of like a tiny chihuahua for the New York Football Giants, because we are just a shadow of ourselves. We were like a Great Dane that ended up being like the size of a toy poodle. That's
you guys definitely are. That's a good one. You guys are the chihuahuas. I'll tell you why. Little brother, very little. But you guys make so much noise regardless of outcome of what happens. So fitting. And obviously Dallas, there's other dog. Dallas could be the whatever dog is irrelevant. You could give them that dog. So and
hey, you know what? They're the most relevant aside from the Eagles, because they actually could.
They haven't really they don't beat anybody good, but we'll get into it. But yes, they had yes.
Yes, they had a commanding win against an awful Las Vegas Raiders team. Yes. I guess we could start in Spain. Start in Spain, Madrid, with the Washington Commanders.
Bring your passport.
Yes. Don't forget the passport. I mean, it looked like an awesome stadium.
Looked cool.
It was kind of cool. I think you probably saw like how they keep like the turf underneath this stadium in like a greenhouse. You see that?
Yeah.
Take notes, MetLife. You got the World Cup coming up. You guys are talking about all this turf. Maybe that's something that you could continue saving ankles of future Giants and ACLs and all that jazz. I think Malik Neighbors and the rest of the future of the Giants would thank you. The game was pretty mid. Nobody liked getting in the end zone. They like getting real close. They kept on, especially I had a couple touchdown scores in this game. Devon Achane being one of them. And like, even though he dominated, once it came to the red zone, it was field goal. I feel like even Commanders fans here, and me being a Giants fan too, like I'm going to watch every snap, but like, you're tuned out, like especially Jameis Winston was fun and all, but when you don't have your fun, exciting young quarterback, it just kind of takes away from the joy.
Oh, yeah.
And Marcus Mariota, I mean, played like backup Marcus Mariota, He threw a pick. He was nothing exciting, didn't move the needle at all. Deebo Samuel continues to be like the one bright spot on this team. Just, with his touchdown, didn't really get anything else going in this one. I like to monitor like the running game. I think like that's like because you're kind of seeing how this team moves forward. I feel like every week we see how it's like moving around. Chris Rodriguez Jr. seems to be the guy right now, definitely in this game.
Yep.
And I don't think that's anybody that they'd want to have as their lead back moving forward. So, I just looking at this Commanders team, and I feel like we say this every week, like what is the direction they're going to go in the offseason? Because I think their eyes are on the offseason. And I wonder where they are in Tankathon. What other thoughts do you have from this game while I look up their Tankathon spot?
They maybe that's where I should start too. They had, let's see, let me do the quick math. 23, 24, 33. They had 63 plays from scrimmage on offense, I think. Of course, they also had overtime, which is important to note. Threw the ball 30 times, ran the ball 34 times. Good balance. I mean, you look at that and you say, okay. Like you said earlier, Sean, when you have two teams that are bad and don't have good offenses, you're going to finish the first 60 minutes of the game tied at 13. Exactly how it sounds. Maybe they get into the end zone once, but the other times they're going to have to settle for field goals. Chris Rodriguez looks like the best running back. It always seems like at the end of the season, he seems like the best option. Not a great option, but it seems like he's the one who always rises to the occasion as the number one back in Washington. If a Brian Robinson is injured or whatnot, back then. Deebo Samuel, okay. It's hard to assess. I feel bad for players because if your team is bad, I sort of do not credit them for what they do because the team's just bad and someone has to like put up those numbers ideally. Ertz still catching a few. I don't know what to make of this team. I mean, defensively, I think that this is a pretty good outcome for a team that's been awful defensively. Yet again, they played a pretty bad Dolphins team across the Atlantic Ocean, which I think probably helps a defense more than offense. I don't know. But again, it's at the end of the day, it's another loss for Washington. They go to 3-8. They don't have their quarterback. Mariota's giving them serviceable play. I think this is the third week in a row he finished with 213 throwing yards, which is kind of interesting.
It is, yeah. I forgot about that. That is cool. I mean, that's
his completion rate 67%. Not great, not awful, I guess, but you're just not going to get much from this Commanders team on offense. Defensively, they actually gave you a good game and you couldn't squeak this out. Maybe it's better for them. Maybe it just helps their draft position at this point, like you were saying earlier, Sean. But it is wild. And last thing I'll say is it's just wild how promising this year was with when you have a guy like Daniels. He had a season like they did last year, even though I don't think their season last year was that great regular season, but they made some noise in the playoffs. There's either I said this about you've heard the script before, Sean. I said this about the Giants a few years ago after they made the playoffs and lost to the Eagles in the divisional round. There's only one way to go for these teams now. The honeymoon phase is over. You either go up like you're supposed to, or you're going to get worse. Washington got worse. When Daniels is healthy, he's still a big threat, but it really changes their future, in my opinion, for a more difficult path than we thought. It's gonna it reeks of RG 3.2.0, but I don't know.
Don't say that. Daniel's mom does not want you to say that. And also, I've been thinking about this, and it's not just for I think that the Giants have more reasons for optimism right now than the Commanders by a lot. I think that first off, we're one of the younger teams in the NFL, and like I said, the Commanders have one of the oldest teams in the NFL since over a decade. I pulled up the stat last podcast. Pull that up. We need more numbers on that one. So go to the Commanders section of that one if you want to hear about that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these players probably won't be on the team. A lot of their key pieces, like Bobby Wagner, who, despite, he's definitely declined, he's still a great linebacker. They kept comparing him and Jordan Brooks. I think they're 1 and 2 in tackles in the year, and Jordan Brooks obviously on the Dolphins. But I don't know if he's going to be back on this team next year. Maybe because he's had success with Dan Quinn, and he'll just ride out his career as a Commander. Von Miller, probably not. He just came out and he said after they lost to the Seahawks last week, he was talking about how he was torn between the Seahawks and the Commanders with who to sign with. And he chose the Commanders because of Jaden Daniels. Well, obviously he's not here. Also, they suck. Kind of go hand in hand. But he was like, it's like watching your ex win because he's like, man, I could have been on that side of it. He could have been on the Seahawks, you know. So I doubt he's back. Not that he's really been that much of an impact on this team. I mean, he had a sack in this game, but like, you know, that's what you get with the ghost of Von Miller. And even like their young pieces like Mikey Sanders still, who was pretty promising his rookie year, like he hasn't been playing as good as a promising player he was. And on top of that, like they put him in the Deontay Banks role where they had him returning a punt. Like you don't put like a young promising player and one of the a few healthy players of your future on the defense in like places like that, like punt return. You know, if
Can't have
if you really value their health,
yep.
Yeah, and also didn't even do anything on that return, but I think he just fair caught that. But yeah, I don't know, man. Not really much to say here, too. I forgot that they had Preston Smith too. That's like another just like
another old.
You just keep looking at like the older heads like
listen. This team in 2000, this team in 2015. I'm scared of their defense. I mean, I give the credit.
And Marcus Mariota is exciting again.
yeah, that too. I just don't get like I thought Peters would have taken advantage of this. Like, and I don't want to take too much credit. I could see they had so much money in the offseason and they went for older guys and they traded for like even trading for someone like Deebo Samuel. He's just on the older side. Yeah, he's productive. That's great. Is he giving you great numbers? No.
This year he's been pretty good, dude.
He's been fine. He isn't a reason they're losing, but he hasn't been special. I think they spent kind of special resource. Like, what do you remember what they traded for him?
It was a 3rd-round pick, right?
Oh, that's kind of a lot. That's kind of more than I would give, but not awful lot. But again, yeah, this team.
Oh no, it was only a 5th-round pick. It was a 5th-round pick, dude. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's not. But I'd rather spend more. I guess my point is, I'd rather spend more resources in better players because they have the resources than something like that where you have to start Deebo. It's not just that you're getting Deebo for cheap for a 5th-round pick, which is fine, even though the age and like his injuries, you have to take that into account. When you trade for Deebo Samuel, you have to play him. There are better players than Deebo Samuel that maybe if you're more creative, you can go out and get. This isn't about Deebo Samuel. He's had a good season ultimately, but they just went older, and that's a mistake in today's NFL. You have to go younger. You have to stay young, and they're paying the price, and we'll see how long this lingers. How this has an impact on them for the future.
Speaking to your point about Deebo Samuel, he's turning 30 in January. He's always been a physical back. Like he's taken a lot of hits. He's operated because back in the day you want to get paid like a running back and a wide receiver, and he's been utilized as a running back and a wide receiver, which has obviously put more wear and tear on his body. And even though they've gotten pretty good production out of him this year, and he's definitely been the saving grace, especially with Terry McLaurin, who's also 30 years old and who has barely played this season. It's just you have to see where they're going in the future. And yes, they only traded a 5th-round pick for Deebo Samuel, but like you said, yeah, there's younger, better options out there for them, especially with a team with as much cap space as they had going into this season. Like Adam Peters, like if you look at what he's gotten out of like all the draft picks he's had, like yes, he hit on Jaden Daniels, but like that was the obvious one. There was 3 big quarterbacks in that year's draft, and Jaden Daniels was the remainder of the 3. Or well, no, he was the 2nd pick. He was the 2nd one over Drake May, but now Drake May looks like an MVP. So, I mean, I'm not saying that he got it wrong by picking Jaden Daniels. What I'm saying is all the other picks surrounding that pick and the moves that they've made in free agency haven't been something to praise. I'll say that. Jeremy, any other thoughts on this?
It seems like week in and week out, I just say the same things, but it just continues to build off of every week. Just builds off of each week with this Commanders team. I don't know how they get out of this. I think Yeah, I don't know what I'm sure next week I'll say something similar. It's a weird team. They formed it weird. They had a great opportunity not to do this, and they went down this path. Um, Gotta hope Daniels gets healthy and they change things and they change how he plays. And even if they change how he plays, he still is not immune to injury. He's very frail to say, I guess, even if
Yeah.
he's playing smart football and protecting himself. It's got to sting for Washington because they're always going to have to fear for that.
Yeah. Speaking of teams with lost seasons, we can move over to the New York Football Giants, who just seems like every year it's the same old thing. We have a new coach leading the charge for the New York Football Giants, and we had an interim quarterback as well, and Jameis Winston, who's exciting and all, but it's the same result. The Giants are in a close game. In the end, they come up short as the Green Bay Packers, my fiance's Green Bay Packers, beat us at the end of the game, fourth quarter, once again, 27-20. But the thing is that does change is that at this point of the season, I'm actually rooting for us to lose because the season's lost. Actually, this week, week 12, this upcoming week, we could be officially eliminated from the playoffs before Thanksgiving. I mean, isn't that fun? Isn't that a season to believe in? But yeah, I ultimately this is like the exact game that I want. You get a little fun Jameis Winston game. It's exciting. It goes down to the wire, but we lose ultimately and get a higher spot in Tankathon, a higher spot in the draft order coming up, which is something we're going to need, especially with a new coach probably coming in. I don't think it's going to be Mike Kafka. I think if Mike Kafka did have any shot as becoming the Giants' future head coach and keeping this interim role and moving forward with this team, I think he would have had to win this game. And unless he wins the rest of the games this season, which is going to be almost impossible with the Lions coming up this week, I just don't see it happening. But the sad thing about our NFL Tankathon is that the Giants have such a strong strength of schedule. So right now we're picking second, but when we catch up, because we haven't had our bye, we're going to probably fall into like seventh. And then even the Commanders, who right now are picking, I believe, seventh, they have a less strong strength of schedule than us somehow. So when we ultimately probably beat them at the end of the season, they'll end up with a higher pick than us too, which I feel like has happened so many times. I remember it happened to the Chase Young Bowl when they jumped over us because we got a win late in the season, which actually helped us out because we ended up picking Andrew Thomas in that draft. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just ranting about the NFL draft to rant about the NFL draft because that stuff doesn't always pan out. But that's what happens when you're a losing franchise and a fan of a losing franchise. It's just a bunch of what could be, what could have been, and yeah, it's it loses a little bit of the sparkle watching a team that's going to be eliminated from the playoffs before Thanksgiving. But Jameis Winston, fun. Jameis Winston was a lot of fun this week. Uh, even though he only threw. Jeremy, were you hearing me there?
Yeah, I hear you.
Sorry, I accidentally hit the Siri, so I couldn't even hear anything. It all went blank, and then it started.
Oh, that's it. No, I hear you loud and clear.
Lovely, lovely, man. This is it's a train wreck, just like the Giants. But yeah, Jameis Winston, even though he only had that one pick at the end of the game, which a lot of people are putting on Jalen Hyatt, which it is. I mean, Jalen Hyatt, there's a reason why he hasn't been playing. Finally gets the shot, gets significant minutes, and he could have the game-winning touchdown. Instead, he stops running his route. He's supposed to be running a flag route. Just stops mid-route, and Jameis Winston throws it directly to, I don't know, somebody on the Packers. I forgot his name. I'll tell you in 1 second. Evan Williams, which is shitty bourbon and a shitty feeling. Shitty. Jeremy, what did you watch this game, or were
Evan,
you tuning into the Jameis Winston experience?
I tuned in for a little. It was not ideal football. Then Josh Jacob gets hurt, and I was like, I don't. I can watch other games, but I know Shane Bowen is a very bad defensive coordinator. totally know that. And I get it with everything. Replace him,
Awful.
it gets better at the very least. I just think that some of these players might not be as good as thought as either. And I think that that's the concern because I think you look at the defense and you go, the line, the defensive line's really good. Let's see if we can build out. Problem with defensive line is the Giants have one of the worst uh, run defenses in the league. And if not statistically, eye test wise, they do. So um,
You do.
I don't know what to make of this team. It's they need to get healthy. Yeah, you need to get Neighbors back. You need to get um, Dart back. You need to get Scatabo back. You need to get Scatabo out of WWE too. But
I love that.
of course you would. Um,
Love it.
this season's loss. It's another year where we'll be drafting high. I somehow you got to maybe it's just about praying that they stay healthy and that they they bring guys in who are not just slight patches and more fixes for the future. I look at someone
Mhm.
like Paulson Adebo and I go, and to no fault, he was probably the best cornerback on the market last year as a free agent, more or less.
He was
I
exciting. He
don't.
was one of the youngest, and
Yeah, I he hasn't played that well this season. I also don't think he was
he's been injured.
amazing.
He's been injured.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when he has played. I don't think it's been great. I don't think it was great in New Orleans either, to be honest. But
He was hot and cold. Yeah.
yeah, I think that they need more locks, more certainties, more guys who have been good. And you have to be aggressive. Maybe that's trading. Maybe that's trading picks. You have high picks. Maybe that. But maybe do something similar to Washington, but get guys who are younger and who have proven talent at a younger age. It's hard because teams don't want
I
to
mean,
give up that either. But we'll see.
we did it in investing. Like I'll give Joe Shane credit there. Like he loves building younger. So like Javon Holland was still 25 when we signed him. Same with Paulson and Debo. So
Yeah.
getting their second contracts, they had promising rookie contracts. Paulson and Debo came off an injury. He's been injured. He was supposed to suit up for this one, tweaked his knee in pregame. So whatever. Javon Holland came back from injury. This is the second game back from injury. He's good. He's not
Yeah.
as good as Xavier McKinney. Like it
Right.
was, which we don't have to keep talking about that. It's beating a dead horse. But like, also we have a terrible run defense, and we invest in pass rushing defensive tackles, not run
Yeah.
stopping defensive tackles. Like Darius
Yeah.
Alexander was a pass rushing. Roy Robertson Harris is a pass rushing defensive tackle. Like that's one of the reasons why our run game sucks. And our safeties, like Javon Holland can do whatever. I mean, and also who else sucks at run defense? Deontay Banks, who again got benched in this game for 7th rounder Corey Black, who is on the Jets because he'd rather be on the Jets practice
Yeah.
squad than the Giants practice squad. Another great move by Joe Shane was this is actually applauded, but it's only because he was stupid and wasn't keeping little Jordan Humphrey on the active roster, which he should have at this
Oh
point.
yeah, that was crazy.
Such a depleted wide receiver corps, and Jalen Hyatt, who's pretty much useless, as we saw this game. I mean, saw how awful he is, and he should have been gone. He should be cut, honestly, because like he's proved his inability to be effective on this team. Like I know that we had high hopes. Doesn't matter. I think that's a message to the team. If you're not executing, go. You're gone. Like we could have had little Jordan Humphrey, who's been a little bit better. Anyways, he gets plucked off our team by the Broncos. So like, crap, we don't have Darius Slayton. What are we going to do? Bring back our good friend Isaiah Hodgins, who's just been on the practice squad for the Steelers all year. And what does he do? He looks like our best receiver on the team. Like just like he did when we plucked him off the Bills practice squad back in 2022 and went on our playoff run. And he was like huge in us getting our first playoff win in how many years. So I'm happy about that. That was a bright spot. It was good seeing Isaiah Hodgins out there back and going. But yeah, I mean, this was a Joe Shane. I don't think that you should be our future moving forward, because seeing his highlighted picks that he's refused to move on from, Deontay Banks, suck. Jalen Hyatt, suck. And his lack of ability to fix the run game, which has been awful since before we even brought in Shane Bowen. And we thought since Shane Bowen had a great run defense with the Titans, let's bring him in. He'll fix our terrible run defense. No, he did not. And actually, I think it's been worse. Yeah, Jameis Winston, although he only had that one interception to Evan Williams, he like the first drive he threw one that was dropped. I think he had 3 interceptions dropped. So he's fun. He's exciting. He had some sick dances. I love him eating the W's. That's exciting to see. But I think Jackson Dart will be back this week, and I hope he's healthy for the rest of the year because it's still a lot more exciting seeing a young, developing quarterback who I think still has a great chance at winning Rookie of the Year with how great he's played over a lost cause in Jameis Winston. Which I do think it's funny that like we have the 2 like 1 and 2 picks in the NFC East with Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston as the backups to like do some of the bright new quarterbacks here. So that's fun. Yeah, it's Young Wei Koo mixed an extra point. It was actually windy as hell, so I can't really blame him that much for that. Tyrone Tracy Jr., man, I'll tell you what, Devin Singletary, he's been efficient. I mean, the yards per carry didn't really look like that, but they love putting him in at the goal line. They'll have Tyrone Tracy march down the field, look like a superstar back, and then they'll plug in Devin Singletary. And what pisses me off about that is just because I have Tyrone Tracy Jr. on my fantasy team, but doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter there. Speaking of running backs, I think you said it, Cam Scattaboo looking great in the WWE promos. I know WFAN had like this big, and like I think TJ Ward, who is like a former all-pro safety, they were all like giving him shit. And Cam Scattaboo came out and he's like, listen, if you guys don't like me making light out of a dark time and having fun in a dark time, then you can unfollow me. And honestly, I think Cam Scattaboo's right. That guy's
but
tough
it's a
as
dark
nails.
time for Giants
awesome.
fans. Giants
and
fans
honestly, Giants fans, I like seeing it though. I like seeing it.
All right, you are one, so you can only speak for yourself. If I'm a Giants fan, I don't think I'd be too angry about it, but I'd also be like, hey, bud, I've been here for a decade. We've been awful. It's been terrible. We haven't won anything. We don't win, period. Like, you can have fun. I get it. Do it behind closed doors or what. Like, I don't know. I think, again, I don't think it's the end of the world, too. I hate, like, but, like, I get if that, like, makes some people upset. It's like, brother, we've been here before you. We'll be here after you. It's been hell for a decade, and like
So this is just about him injuring himself, essentially.
Right, not even just like that's a part. Like I don't think he's going to injure himself. Like that's a part where like I think people go too far. Like I doubt he's going to injure himself doing that stuff. But like it's more like I don't know. Like take a hint. Be like some these are hardworking New Yorkers who they want it just rubs me the wrong way a little bit. I can get into it.
Hey,
more,
that's fair.
No, I also don't think it's also not the biggest deal. Like he's not going to get hurt doing that stuff. It's more about the just the image itself.
I think what's probably rubs me a worse way is Abdul Carter was also there, having fun after he got benched the first series, even with Kayvon Thibodeau out.
Because was he sleeping through meetings?
Because he was sleeping through meetings, which he denied. He said that he was getting rest and recovery, but I mean, Jordan Schultz doubled down on it. He said like that's what everybody in the building told him, like staff, coaches, players were like, no, he was sleeping, and he's been. That's one of the big changes from Brian Dable to Mike Kafka is like Brian Dable would let that stuff slide. Apparently, Abdul Carter has been like late to meetings like throughout the season, and
wow,
Mike Kafka I think needs to show a little bit of dominance, and that was like a thing last year too. There was reports that Malik Neighbors was just kind of given the superstar treatment as a rookie too. Like you're giving rookies the superstar treatment to let them like that sets the precedent for the rest of their career in New York, where we're letting things slide like that just because they're a high draft pick.
It's a tough thing. I know we have to move on to the Eagles. It's a tough thing because I definitely think that if you're a superstar at whatever age, you deserve to be treated as a superstar. I don't have an issue with that. It's where you do things like late. Like you can't like that. You're a superstar. It doesn't mean you can be late to meetings. It doesn't mean you can sleep through meetings. I don't think Kafka's a good coach. I don't think he's the answer for New York. At least he's standing up and like pointing this stuff out within the first week, and taking action. I think that's pretty respectable. For anyone, and good for him. And as we sort of learn more about Dable after he has left the Giants, we sort of are hearing some unfavorable stuff about him as a coach and person. But yeah, good for Kafka. I'd be concerned about Carter too. It all sucks for them because I'm sure the NFL is a long season, and if you lose most of your games, it's an even longer season. So it sucks for everyone. I know they're trying to get through it, but like it sucks for Giants fans too. Like they've like I said, they've been here from the start. They'll be here after these players retire.
Yeah.
Don't show that you care. Show that you can
Yeah, you're getting a
relate to
better
them.
paycheck than me, that's for sure. So
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
yeah. Yeah. The other, like, one last final thought, because, the Giants there's been talks about Mike Kafka maybe like keeping his job in the play calling. And actually, I think he called like a relatively decent game, although he had one risky thing, which I think is like the interim slide, and that was going for it on fourth down in the third quarter on our own like 36, 37-yard line. I think it was like 4th and 1. But still, like there was still plenty of game left. We didn't have to do it. And I don't really mind the ballsiness, like our season's over. So, like, yeah, I want to keep seeing the offense on the field. But the Wildcat with Devin Singletary as just the lone Wildcat in the backfield and having Jameis Winston go out, like that was like, okay. Like, I don't mind running it. I don't mind a little bit of trick play. But, like, Devin Singletary is not throwing this. Like, he's running up the middle. Luckily, it worked. Like, the O-line actually played amazing in this game. So credit to them, like all pieces, even John Michael Schmitz. Actually, there's some stats. I think he's really improved over the past few games since he's come back from injury. So that is that. But yeah, not too much to glean from this lost Giants season. So I guess we can talk about I would even say a less exciting game, but with much better teams. And the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Lions at the Link 9-16. Jeremy, tell me about your Eagles. Let's hear from a winner.
Well, offensively, the team isn't a mess right now. They're not scoring points. A lot of 3-and-outs. There's no rhythm. There's no rhyme. There's no nothing. Defensively, they look like the best team in the NFL on that side of the ball. Good. So I want to bet on this team's offense with Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. I think that they turn it around. They don't even have to execute to their fullest potential. They just have to play better. They have the personnel to do it. And that's why I think that things change. Personnel is too good to be this bad for this long. It was like this last year, too. Early December, A.J. Brown said, "What's the matter with this offense?" He said passing. So here we are again. And then obviously the team rose to the occasion where they had their two best offensive games in the NFC Championship, dropping 55 against Washington, and then the Super Bowl dropping 40 against Kansas City. So they sort of have the ability in the past to turn it on and off when they need to, which is good. And I'm hoping on that. Offensively, they were bad. It was windy for sure, but I still think they weren't great on offense. O-line has just been an issue. Guys in and out, guys playing hurt. It just has not helped. Lane Johnson's now out for a little bit, which isn't good.
Yeah. Well, you guys have 3 backups on the O-line right now, don't you?
We have 2. We have Fred Johnson in for Lane Johnson and right tackle. It looks like Brett Toth will be in at center for Juergens. And Steen is healthy. Dickerson is healthy. Well, Dickerson's not healthy, but he's playing. And Mailata is healthy and playing. Okay. So that's been major. There's no continuity with the line, the offense. You've seen it. It's not good. Fortunately, their defense is playing great. The addition of Jalen Phillips has been amazing. Quinyon Mitchell, what a stud. Guy did not let up a catch on 8 targets, I think. Detroit's a good team. I'll be on. I think they're a very good team. I don't think they're great. They're definitely worse than last year. They're now 6-4, which isn't a great record. They might not win the North, which is crazy.
Yeah, Bears.
Yeah, and in Green Bay's still, floating
They're in
around.
the race.
I
Yeah.
don't think Green Bay's great either, but like they're still not an easy win. Um, it's a good win for the Eagles, of course. They move on to 8-2. This was a game, in my opinion. Again, I think that we get too caught up on how did every unit play. It is so hard to win in the NFL, Sean. It's hard to beat really good teams in the NFL. I don't love where the offense is, but like the Eagles' offense in the early 2000s was great. They went to 4 NFC championships or something, one Super Bowl, and guess what? The games they got knocked out, they didn't score points. 2002, they scored 10 points against the Bucks, against the Panthers. The next year, I think they scored 10 or 14. There's no rhyme or reason to this. If you don't win your final game of the season, wherever that may be, it's kind of a failure on any part if you're a good team. So I think the whole offense thing is overblown a little bit. It's definitely not good, not a great place, but I think the players, I think they're good enough to overcome this, and hopefully the defense can play at the high level that they have. Maybe not this level because that'll be kind of crazy, but continue to play at a very high level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jalen Phillips, like that was a great addition.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. How we just kept on swinging and swinging and swinging. Like, even Jair Alexander was, who retired, right? Is he fully retired? Done for the career?
It
Just done
seems
for the
that
season?
he said he would. It said something along the lines he'll revisit it. It sounds like that's not really the case. It sounds like he's pretty much good as retired. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But, hey, at least, 7th-round pick, whatever, take a flyer on that. Half the time those guys don't even make your roster, especially when you have a roster as good as the Eagles.
They swapped, and that trade was it was Jair and a 7th for Green Bay 6. Howie views his 7th and 6th round picks as pretty similar overall, which makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, you just have to swing. He hasn't had much luck in the last few years at the deadline. You still have to keep doing it. And we've said this the last few weeks. You still have to keep doing it. And
Yeah.
yeah, Phillips is looking good.
Especially when you're competing like you are. And it just, like, offensively, man, like, I just don't know what's going. Like, Saquon, listen, he finished with like a pretty solid stat line with like 83 yards, only 3.2 yards a
Decent
carry. But
game, but yeah,
they didn't give up on the run. But at halftime,
needed the
like
volume. Yeah,
he had nothing. He had nothing. But the thing
yeah.
is, the passing game wasn't working. I mean, 50% from Jalen Hurts for only 135 yards. When you're throwing the ball 28 times and you've got 50% completion percentage and only 135 yards, like that's
Not good.
It was enough to beat it because of your defense and
Totally.
stopping a superstar Lions team. And even Jameer
0
Gibbs,
for
like, you guys
5
kind of,
on 4th down for the Lions. It's crazy.
yeah, only 2 teams have been 0 for 5 on 4th
Yeah.
down. Both of them the Lions back in 2002 and now in 2025.
Really weird game coached by Dan Campbell. I think he's a good coach. I've always been kind of off on him. I think he's a pretty good coach. He did not coach well, but Goff was leading the NFL in completion at 74% coming into the game. Sunday night he was 37%. Insane, just insane. Nakobe Dean coming back from injury, and he's been better than last year, in my opinion. He has helped. There is a reason why we can stop the run now when we had difficulty before Nakobe Dean returned. It's all been great. Yeah, and hopefully, they work out. The passing game.
Yeah, I mean, AJ Brown said it. AJ Brown said, "Trade me or not trade me, drop me from your fantasy teams because the passing game is just totally dysfunctional." And
yeah,
even though it seems like they tried to make him happy and peppered him with targets, I mean, like, it's just still not efficient. And even 7 catches for 49, that's a Wan'Dale Robinson stat line, not an AJ Brown.
7 catches, 49 yards is not I like the volume, I guess, but it's not. Yeah, it's not good. 7 catches isn't good.
No,
we'll want him in the end zone too.
Yeah, no, definitely not great. Anything else you want to say about these Eagles before we just finish up with the Cowboys Raiders?
Nah, we'll finish up.
All right. Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys, win in Vegas, 33-16. But did CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens win in Vegas? I don't know. Like, apparently they were gambling until 7 in the morning, which is why they were benched for the opening drive of the game. And speaking of gambling, I'm sure gamblers were like, "What the hell are these guys not doing in the game?" I have prop bets on them, which I did, and it's okay. It doesn't matter anyways because I also had some on Ashton Ginty, which was a complete zero. There's actually, I mean, let's just start off by saying the Raiders are complete garbage. They are an awful, awful, awful organization. Geno Smith has turned back to the Geno Smith of old. Their O-line is atrocious, where Ashton Ginty, Heisman candidate, one of the best running backs we've seen coming out of college, can't do anything. I mean, literally got stacked for a safety. Yeah, I mean, Brock Bowers, you get the most out of him, but man, this team sucks. But the Cowboys look good, and honestly, like I said it in the intro, but like it's a big win for Marshawn Kneeland. It was super emotional, like seeing all the coaches wear the Marshawn Kneeland shirts, holding up to Marshawn Kneeland jersey at the end, like Ryan Flournoy, the speech by Brian Schottenheimer. I mean, I've become actually a big fan of Brian Schottenheimer throughout this year. As an offensive coordinator, an offensive-minded coach, like you can say whatever you want about the rest of the Cowboys team, but he has been getting it done offensively. You know, like the Cowboys look good. Dak has been looking good, and I have a lot of respect for him. That speech, it was very emotional, and I could see the Cowboys moving forward with him. I think you got to get rid of Eberflus because, I mean, even though the defense finally showed up against an awful Raiders team, it's not the way to go. Yeah, Jeremy, what are your thoughts on this game?
They beat a really bad team in the Raiders. The offense does look good. I have to remind people that this team was 3-5-1 coming into this game. I'm seeing so much Schottenheimer stuff like, what a move Jerry made. Stop it. This team has been they were 3-5-1 coming into this game. It's a week by week league, but it's not that week by like who. It's not like that week by week. Who is this team? Who is his team beat this year? I'll go through it. I'll look through it. They beat the Giants. They gave up 37 points to the Giants. They lost to the Bears. Embarrassing. They tied the Packers. They beat the Jets. They lost to the Panthers. They beat Washington. They lost by 20 to Denver. They lost to the Cardinals, and they beat the Raiders. Give me a break. Yeah, their offense, they can score some points. I'll give them that. They have not beat a good team. They don't play good teams well. They get embarrassed against good teams. Enough with this talk of Sean. It's crazy. This is why people hate Dallas. They get so much love and so much praise when they're 4-5-1.
Yeah.
The offense is great though.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Pickens looks good. Looks like they have to pay Pickens now too, which is going to be interesting. He could. And we know Jerry Jones too. He will not get it. He'll let it wait till free agency. At that point, the cost is just going to go up. So yeah, Pickens look great. CD's look great. You know.
But who else looked great? Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams had the best game of his season, sack and a half. I'm pretty sure he was in there on that safety. I think he had 5 tackles for loss too. Like Quinnen Williams looked awesome, dude. Like he looked like the best defensive tackle in the league. And I think that also has to do with the Raiders' offensive line.
I think that has exactly
dysfunctional.
Yeah, Vegas.
But hey, like it's a good return, especially coming off of the heartbreak during their bye week. Like you know what? If it's a week-to-week league, let the Cowboys have this week, even if it's against a bad Raiders team. I know a lot of our we're talking about projections, especially with the Commanders sucking and the Giants sucking and the Eagles trying to make a playoff run and having a defense. Like we're projecting. Do I think this Cowboys team has a chance at the playoffs? Not unless Quinnen Williams keeps playing like this, and then hey, the investments work out. But I mean, you got the Cowboys.
They have Eagles, Chiefs, Dallas, Vikings, Chargers,
You mean
Washington
Lions?
Giants.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got a ringer. I mean, they got three hungry powerhouses coming up, and then
Yeah.
Vikings look very beatable. Chargers right now look very beatable, and then the Commanders and Giants. I mean, obviously beatable. So there is a path. There is a path to the playoffs, but they'd have to at least win 2 of the 3 next games, which is going to be pretty difficult. So we'll see. We shall see.
Yep.
There's a path, and if they do, then I think then you give them their flowers. But not much else to say. Anything else you want to talk about this Cowboys team? I mean, yeah, George Pickens is a freaking demon, dude. Like he is so good, and Javonte Williams still looks great. Like I don't know, we've criticized a lot of the Cowboys moves, but in a game like this, there's nothing but positives to say. I mean, everybody got after it. James Houston got after it again. Osia Dikasua got after it again. Even Kenny Clark got a little action on there. So, yeah. And the offense looked unstoppable. Like it was, and the Raiders looked very stoppable with the defense.
Yes.
So, nothing but positives from this one for the Cowboys. Anything else, Jeremy?
Nah, let's jump into spreads and picks.
Spreads and picks. All right. Let's hop into here. First game here, we will go with the New York Giants at the Detroit Lions. Jeremy, what do you think that spread is?
New York Giants at Detroit?
Yeah.
Gotta
give it up for Detroit. Rock City.
Do we know if Dart's going to play?
Let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure he's leaning towards playing, so let me just triple check here. Jackson Darts. Get promising news. In line to return for Sunday. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. He will be playing Sunday.
Detroit minus 9.5.
In Detroit. Oh, very close. 10.5. I mean, maybe it'll move when it's like official, but I'm pretty sure it's if it's not there, it's almost there. But maybe. Dude, I could see the Lions coming out angry. I know that's like a lot of talk, but dude, they just got their whole offense put in the shitter against the Eagles.
They are a dome. Giants, they are a dome team too. So returning back there will, I think, do them wonders.
Yeah, I could see this Giants defense getting freaking destroyed, and like this could be the game. Finally, Shane Bowen gets thrown out because the Lions put up 50 on us, and I could easily see the Lions. Like, are the over or under is 50.5, and I think that's like because they think the Lions can score a majority of those
45.
Yeah. I mean, based on the spread, they're predicting the Lions to at least put up 30 points. So
I'll take Lions 38, New York 17.
Okay. All right.
That seems high. Yeah, well, I'll stick
No, dude, just do it. Okay, Lions 38, Giants 17. That's the Jeremy pick. Okay, this is how I see this. I see the Lions just absolutely spanking us. I'm talking about Sonic and Knuckles, Jahmyr Gibbs, and David Montgomery just running all over us. And then just to have some fun, Jameis Williams deep pass, taking advantage of either Devontae Banks or Corey Black. And even Drew Phillips, who we loved, he got benched for freaking Nick Jones, who was on the Chiefs practice squad last game. Like, our defensive backs are ass. Hopefully Paulson Adebo comes back for this game. I think he is, because he almost came back for the last game. So hopefully we don't have to see Deontay Banks or Corey Black in there. And if Shane Bowen wants to maybe keep his job, they should not see the field unless they are like Cordell Flott and Paulson Adebo have broken legs, because like they're going to stomp us. I still think, I'm going to go Lions 33, but like I said, I could easily see them put up 40. 50, even fucking 70, honestly. The Giants defense sucks, and I think the Lions offense is good. And I'll go Giants 24. I'm going to go Giants 24. Cover the spread there. And I think Jackson Dart returns. And I think Mike Kafka'S in a coach for his life. Next spread, Jeremy. I like that, actually. Jeremy, next spread. What do you think? It's going to be the...
What do we have?
Wait, are the Commanders on a bye?
Say it again. Which game?
I think are the Commanders on a bye? I think they are.
Oh, maybe they are. Let's see.
I'm gonna. I guess. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So like.
Commanders have a bye.
Oh, nice. So then we just have the Philadelphia Eagles going to Dallas to play the Cowboys. What you got here, Jeremy?
I
What
don't
do you
know
have?
if I don't know how Vegas is going to view the Cowboys now. I'll say it's in Dallas, so I'll say Dallas minus 2.5.
No, it's still Eagles -3. So,
Wow. See, I was going to say Eagles minus 1.5, but then I thought, okay, all right, interesting.
and that's
Interesting.
actually that's better odds for the Eagles -3. So it's probably
Yes.
moving towards Eagle -3.5, which
Yes.
I'd probably pound too. But you know what? Week 1 was a pretty close game all the way
Yeah.
through. Maybe I'll start off with my prediction here. This is what I'm going to say. You have to the high powered Cowboys offense, but we also have a very high powered what we saw the Eagles do to the Lions. They could easily do to the Cowboys all game, but this is
And
also a
Packers.
divisional game.
And Packers and
And
Lambeau.
Packers. And Packers. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of feeling good about these Cowboys, dude. I think it's going to be a tough one. I'm going to go Cowboys 27, and the Eagles. Now, the Eagles' offensive has been completely dysfunctional, but so is the Cowboys' defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going a high-scoring game. I feel like this will actually be a fun game for once because the Eagles have been winning these games, but they've been stinkers against good teams. But this one I think will be good. I think Eagles finally pull it together. A.J. Brown takes it away. I'm going to go Eagles 28. I'm talking about a tight game till the end. And, yeah, Cowboys 27, Eagles 28. That's my prediction. Jeremy?
I'll go. Sheesh. 26-17 Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun.
A few
Cowboys
scores going through
17.
my head, but I'll go with that.
All right. Okay, well, I think that just about wraps it up there. Jeremy, anything you want to say before we close out here?
Nah, go Eagles. Go Birds.
Yeah. And Cam Scattaboo, I personally let the taco dominate me as well. That taco, I'll bend my head every which way. I'll lick the entrails off my shirt. But yeah, like and subscribe. Tell us how you eat your tacos. Do you let the taco dominate you? What do you think about Cam Scattaboo's future in the WWE? And I don't know. If you find any better Wi-Fi than Xfinity in Nashville, please send them over because if there's been a lot of cuts in this, it's because of Xfinity's Wi-Fi. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for not sponsoring us because you guys are butt cheeks. Anyways, this has been the Beast of the NFC East. We will see you later. Peace.